vital importance in the rescue of the ailing economy. On the sale of nation's national assets, the challenges facing the nation simply means that the federal government must do everything possible to ease the pain and suffering that the people go through on a daily basis. This is what led to the call for the federal government to sell some of our national assets like the NLNG and the refineries, among others, in order to generate huge amount of money to stimulate the economy. While this sounds good, it certainly needs to be looked at critically so that we do not find ourselves in a sorry state. Therefore, critical questions needs to be asked and for which adequate and convincing answers must be provided. Sale of assets has been a mixed bag of fortune for us, with some succeeding while so many have failed. For those that succeeded, we add value for our money while the companies kept providing jobs for Nigerians. In the case of those that have failed, there have been job losses and the product and services that would have been enjoyed by the people are no longer there. A very good example, of course, is the Nigerian Airways of old, Nigerian shipping lines of old, and of course the PHCN. Therefore, if we are to sell our assets, they should be the ones that are not performing well, since the reason for sale of assets are to reduce bureaucracy, eliminate bad management and corruption, increase profit, correct defective capital base, and increase the quality of goods and services. These indeed are the objective that a suitable process leading to any sale should achieve, so that several years later the company will still be doing exactly what they are meant to be doing. In essence, we are advocating that the sale of the Nigerian assets should be put on hold. Rather, those who are calling for the sale of the Nigerian asset should provide government long-term loans. The president and his support for autonomy of local government. The need to allow the local government to fully discharge their duties and responsibilities is really an issue that has been on the front burner for some time now. What remains is the political will by all stakeholders to do the needful by untying the local government from the apron strings of the state. The President Muhammad Buhari's support for the autonomy of local government has further raised the stake, but there is a lot to be done before this can be achieved. His intention has to be backed up with concrete legal instruments and the political will of the stakeholders to allow the third tier of government regain its freedom and to function effectively and efficiently. The state have for long enjoyed the control they have on the local government. They control their allocations and conduct elections into local government if and when they wish to do so. Even when they conduct election, the posts are usually filled by their cronies, whom they then sack at any time they so wish. This has weakened the local government to such an extent that they are unable to provide primary healthcare services, collect revenue, provide adult and vocational education, maintain cemetery, and register births and deaths, among others. The local government authority can only become responsible to the people if they receive their monies directly from the federal government and if they are governed by the federal laws. Let the Supreme Court pronounce on hijab matters. We have the view that it is only the Supreme Court of Nigeria that can make the final pronouncement on the issue of female pupils and students wearing hijab in public schools. Therefore, everyone should be able to wait till this pronouncement is made, as the matter is already before the said court. More importantly, Muslim females should be allowed to enjoy the relief that has been granted them by virtue of the unanimous Court of Appeals ruling in their favor. It is not the right of any one, either as an individual or as an official of government, to seek to overrun the judgment of a legally constituted court as was done by the Deputy Governor of Lagos recently on national television, where she stated that female Muslims could only use their hijab up to the gate of their school. This is wrong. We will let the Deputy Governor know that in the case of a substituting court order, she does not have the right to make statements that go against the grain of that ruling. This is sub judice, ultra bias, and in contempt of courts. This unwarranted statement is capable of giving leverage to public schools administrators who do not support the wearing of hijab in the first instance. Muslim females would do well to use their hijab in and out of public school because they have a subsisting legal backing to do so. With a pronouncement that goes against the court ruling on hijab by high-ranking public officials of the state is tantamount to not maintaining a neutral stand, as it claimed, but rather it has taken side against its Muslim constituents. Declares a state of emergency on supply of potable water. There is need for federal government to take the lead in declaring a state of emergency in the supply of potable water to the people. If you take a cursory look at the provision of pipe-borne water in the state and the FCT, you will realize that this is one area that has been largely neglected. This neglect comes with attendant health risk and the stress that people undergo in the search for quality drinking water. On the price stability and availability of petroleum products, the federal government has done well by not agreeing to a further increase in the price of petrol as recently moved by some petroleum marketers. This goes to show that the government is in tune with the difficulties that people are going through since the price of petrol was increased to a maximum of 145 naira this year. What is also important is that government must be able to sustain the current easy availability of the product at the present stable price. For long-term sustainability in the availability and affordability of petroleum product, the federal government must do everything in its power to make sure that national refineries operate at optimum capacity. The government must also encourage the private refineries that are being built to come on stream as soon as possible to make sure that their timely completion is not hindered by shortage of dollars. By 2018, we should no longer have the need to import petroleum products to satisfy our local consumption. On adequate, affordable, and constant supply of electricity. The supply of electricity has been regular in the past few months, even though the people usually attribute this speed to the high water level in dams during the rainy season. We are aware that the explanation from the manager of electricity infrastructure is that generation has increased and also that capacity of the transmission line has also increased. We do hope that the present level of electricity supply is sustained, but the ultimate would be to have regular, adequate, and constant power supply. As much as electricity supply has improved in many areas, there are still many areas that are suffering neglect and therefore unable to enjoy this important infrastructure. We urge the electricity distribution company to look into these cases and see what can be done in the areas of providing feeder cables and better transformers. Government has to sustain its engagement efforts with investors in order to ensure the provision of functional and efficient electricity supply at prices that deliver unrivaled value for money to the consumer. Long live Nigerians, long live Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you for your patience.